So let's look at the bunny hop. I really enjoy teaching this move to people. It's the first jump where you take off of one foot that we're going to teach you in these basic moves right here. I love jumping, but you have to make sure that when you jump, you are taking care and you're using the correct technique. So hopefully if you follow my steps, this should be a relatively easy move for you to do. And also really exciting, and you should have some fun with it also. So we're going to look at the first step right here. You can take off of both feet with this move, but some people prefer to take off of one foot, but try and practice it on both feet also, but one foot is always going to be a stronger foot for you. So I'm going to do this exercise on my left foot to start off with. That's the foot I'm going to take off with. What you have to remember is the foot you take off of is not the foot you're going to land on. You're going to land on the opposite foot to what you took off of. So if I take off of my left foot, I'm going to land on my right foot. Second thing you want to think about is your leg going backwards and forwards in order to create your jump. This free leg, I'm going to push off with my free leg here. You can see it bends at the back and it drives through. It's very similar to kicking a football or a soccer ball if you're in America, but you want to make sure that leg kicks back and it comes through for the jump. That's going to be half of your energy to drive you up into the air. The next major thing is your skating leg. Sorry, that is the thing that's going to be really pushing you up into the air, and that involves using your knee, your ankle, pushing up off of your toe, and also driving your hips up into the air. So you can see as I push onto my foot, I've got my knee in a really nice bent position ready to take off of here. What happens next? Everything's going to extend and it's going to drive me up into the air. So we've covered the takeoff position. Now what we're going to look at is the actual takeoff. So you've got your takeoff position here. Next comes the driving through of the leg and the extension of the knee, the ankle, and the hips pushing up as well. So you will take off in a completely straight line with your left leg, but the right leg will be driving up. So hopefully we should end up in this position to take off of. So everything wants to come through together. So what do I mean by everything coming through together? You got to make sure that your left knee, your left ankle, and your hips are extending at the same time as your right knee driving through. So everything works together in the hope that it's going to really drive you up into the air. So we've looked at your takeoff, your air position. Once you're up in the air, there's not too much you can do. So we're going to look at the landing. So as you're coming down, as I mentioned previously earlier on in the video, you're going to make sure that you land on the opposite foot. So if you've taken off of the left foot, we're going to land on the right foot. Not only do you land on the right foot, but it's so important that you land on the right toe pick. You're taking up off of the left toe pick and landing on the right toe pick. So we're going from one toe pick to the other. So we've landed on the opposite toe pick from my takeoff toe pick. So in this instance, it's going to be my right toe pick. The last step is to place your original foot, the one you took off of, on the floor on the flat blade. You don't want to be on the toe pick. You want to place that one down on the flat blade. So we've got 3 steps. We've got the takeoff, we've got the landing on the right toe pick, and then the push onto the flat blade to end the move. I'd say to keep it simple right at the beginning of this move, you want to keep the jump reasonably small, just to get your feet underneath you, to get your balance. But again, key point is to always land on that right toe pick. One of the biggest common mistakes I see are people landing on their blade, and you have no stability when you land on your blade. So make sure you land on your toe pick. A key thing to remember is to make sure you always land on that toe pick, on the opposite foot from your takeoff foot. If you don't land on your toe pick, you land on your blade, you have no stability. You're going to wobble when you come down. It's going to be quite difficult. So make sure you land on your opposite foot on the toe pick, and then you place your takeoff foot down again, but on the blade. So you land on the toe pick, and then it goes straight onto the blade. You want to make sure you do this every time so you have stability when you land. It's a real big common mistake I see with people landing on the blade and sometimes even slipping backwards. Another thing you should focus on whilst doing this move is the direction that your weight is going in. Your weight always has to keep up with your feet. If you try and jump up in the air and you leave your weight behind, by the time you come to land, you're going to be way off balance. You want to make sure that your weight always travels over that toe pick, so when I land, it's over the foot that I'm standing on. Another thing you want to really focus on is the amount of toe picks you use when you come down. You have to make sure you land on the first toe pick, and then the second foot, the original takeoff foot, comes down on the blade. I sometimes see a few people coming down with one toe pick and then catching another toe pick, getting caught up, and that's when you're going down. And we definitely don't want to see you do that. So make sure it's the first toe pick and then blade to finish off with. A final point to consider is always make sure that when you draw this foot back for the takeoff, you lift it as it comes through. I see sometimes people not lifting enough, catching that toe pick, and when they expect to rise and jump up in the air, all they end up doing is going down towards the floor. So make sure that this foot lifts, and as it comes through, you can see it's close to the ice, but it's not touching the ice. It's nowhere near the ice, okay?